Good morning and welcome to my third informal counseling session. So I'm going to start out today's discussion with a brief definition. So I titled this whole series Informal Counseling. So basically what this means is that this isn't something that goes on record. This is a candid discussion between you and me, and you're free to provide whatever feedback you want. My last video, I got a lot of amazing feedback, and that is the sort of thing that I require to know what sort of issues or topics you guys want to discuss. What is it that you want to be able to take away? The other side of that would be formal counseling. Now, that is what we call in the military. What we do in the military, we put out a DA Form 4056, and there's a whole list of reasons that a formal counseling can be done, whether it's event-oriented, i.e. somebody gets a DUI or they do something really great, like win Soldier of the Month. These are reasons to counsel somebody, but these go into their record. These are very fact-based, very objective. What you and I talk about, it's subjective. It's up to interpretation. It's up for debate. If you hear me say something that you don't particularly agree with, you don't like, you're free to make whatever amendments you want. In a formal counseling, the counselors. Yeah, right. I mean, there is a space in there for the person being counseled to write their retort, but it's ultimately going to be up to that leader or whoever is doing the counseling to make the ultimate decision on that. So I just want to kick off today by saying by thanking you guys for watching the last video, the last couple videos actually, and for letting me know what it is that you were interested in. The last one I got a lot of very positive feedback on, so I think that's kind of the route that we're going to go. Probably not so much the practical type stuff, which I'll do because frankly, I mean, to me it's beneficial, and I think it might benefit some of you folks out there. But at the same time, this being for you, so you can kind of pick my brain, see the things that I know, and I can pass that along to you. Plus, it reinforces it for me. So what I want to talk about today is following up with the suicidal ideation discussion that we had. Is more kind of how do we start breaking through this? How do we start identifying the sort of thoughts that led us to that spiral? And one of the things that helped me out the most was identifying what we call stuck points. So a stuck point, it's a thought you have that keeps you from being able to move forward. It's not something that's 100% accurate. It's something that's, if you were to say it to a judge, they would not be able to make a ruling based off of that statement. So what a stuck point is not, it is not a fact. If you say something that's true, like something that you messed up, you actually messed that up. I mean, you don't get stuck on something that you actually did. That is something that you would need to, do your penance for and move forward from there. It's not a feeling. It's not a question. It's not a moral statement. So we talk about moral statements. For instance, all NCOs should take care of their soldiers. Well, I mean, yeah, they should. That's a moral statement. That's not a thought that you would have that we need to modify. It's the way things should be, at least in your world. A behavior, let's say, I'm always fighting with my kids. Okay, well, that's not a stuck point. It's just describing behavior. So, like, for something like that, you want to consider the thoughts that you have during those arguments. A fact, let's say, a fact would be, I got a relief for cause in COAR, so I'm not capable of doing that job. Well, if you got a relief for cause, chances are you're probably not capable of doing that job. There's a reason that you got it. So you can modify something like that. Let's say if you did get a relief for cause, because generally if you're watching this, it's probably not something small that's bothering you. Something pretty big probably happened. So let's say if that was your scenario, you can modify that thought to say, because I got a relief for cause in COAR, I'm a horrible worker, a horrible person, and I will never provide for my family. you were to say that in front of a judge, you're probably gonna be like, that doesn't make sense. It just means you can't do that job. But that's where we get into challenging your stuck points, by the way. So what are some examples of a stuck point? A stuck point would be, I guess relationship seems to kind of be a big one. So let's say because I got a divorce, I don't deserve to have a wife, or because I cheated on my husband or wife or whatever, I am a shitty human being. These are stuck points because they're going to keep you rooted there. If you did something bad, say if you were the person who cheated in your relationship, you can move forward from that. You can adjust your behaviors. So it's not to say that you're never going to deserve to be in a relationship again. Or if you were the person who was cheated on, or because my husband or wife cheated on me, I can't trust men, or I can't trust women. That's not true. You just can't trust that one. So you got to look at those thoughts that you're having. Challenge them. Ask your friends. One of the things that we actually had to do in inpatient, we had to write a list of like 100 of these things. This is not a small thing, and you would be surprised at actually kind of how difficult this can be, because a lot of people, especially men, we tend to thrive on facts and information. So you could say, for instance, one thing you hear a lot, especially from military people on the inpatient side, will be because such and such person did this, such and such person was lost. Not a stuck point, it's a fact. However, if that gets to a point where because such and such leader made a decision that resulted in the death of this person, I can't trust any leadership ever again. That's where you get into a stuck point. That is where you actually start getting into that psychological trauma, because at that point, for in this particular example, that person's entire worldview has been warped. It has been that's trauma. Trauma is what happens when your reality and your expectations are not in alignment anymore. So how do we challenge this? Most people have had great leaders at some point. Unfortunately, we do get bad ones in the mix. So you have to draw focus. So well, what about this guy? You used to talk about how great this NCO or this officer was, or this business manager. If that's a more applicable scenario for you. You have to kind of redirect people's thoughts into that sort of thing. You want to modify, because you're not going to change people's minds completely about something. Like if somebody has trust issues, you're not just going to be like, well, challenge a couple thoughts and done. But what you can do is try to take that thought that they had before and make it into something less extreme. So, because my wife cheated on me, or I can't trust women like that. Because chances are, you probably can't really trust her or her friends or the people that she would associate with. Those are probably going to be the type of people that hurt you. But that doesn't mean that they're all going to be like that. There are good people out there. So it's less extreme. It's still there. You're still going to have to deal with that kind of psychological pushback, but it's not going to be as bad before. So what my challenge to you guys is to try to take a look at some of the things that messed you up, I guess. Some of the traumas that happened in your life, whether it is something like military style, like PTSD from combat, or whether it was because of a sexual trauma in childhood or because of abuse. Take a look at the thoughts that you developed from that. Take a look at the beliefs that you developed over time. Figure out which ones are facts, which ones are opinions. Try to I guess separate those out. Separate out the thoughts that are keeping you stuck. And if it's something that's true, yes, that's a fact. But if you know for a fact that that's not true, And then a lot of times, if you write something as fact, analyze it. Ask the. You look at my notes here real quick. So we have what we call Socratic questions. So you're going to be looking at clarification type questions, like the who, what, wow, who, what, how, when, why type of things. Challenge those facts. See if there is an opinion somewhere in there. You can maybe modify some of those statements into developing what your stuck points are. It's not an easy assignment. I strongly suggest that you do some research on your own if you need clarification of what this is, or you can just ask me to clarify what I'm talking about here. We're talking about stuck points, but start working on challenging those for yourself, and start working on trying to take the extreme beliefs that you developed because of your traumas that led you into a downward spiral, and challenge. Start working on modifying your beliefs. And we'll cover more later on. One of the things I want to talk about, probably in my next video, actually, we'll talk about the ABC model. I'll define that there. One last parting note that I want to do for this video is I want to define, to make a distinction for you guys. A lot of people, they experience two things as a result of their trauma: guilt and shame. So guilt, that's whenever you actually did something. Guilt says, I made a mistake. I fucked up. Most likely, if you're feeling like that, you probably did. And nobody can or should take that from you. If you did something wrong, you should feel guilty because you made a mistake. Do you have to live in that guilt? No. I mean, it's not going to go. I mean, somebody, you go to jail, you go for a number of years, and you get released. Your debt to society is paid. I mean, we could go off into a whole different tangent about justice system, but I use that as an example. But fact about it, punishment will end. At that point, you don't need to spend more time feeling guilty about that. Shame is whenever you get into a change of I am bad. Because of this, I am by nature a bad person. And that is where people start to spiral down, because whether it was actually something they did or something that happened to them, they're kind of locked in this shame spiral. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you need any more clarification, just please, by all means, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the other standard YouTube sub notes that they put on there. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy.